It's the 24th of September and I'm Tom Glass and welcome to The Roast. Tonight, the government wants to axe Australia's Charity Regulator. And I'm brainstorming ideas for dodgy charities so that I can get in on that sweet tax-exempt status. Okay, first up, Tom's Trust Fund, where I get all the money. The Cancer Fund. I haven't worked out yet if it's going to be pro or anti-cancer. I'll workshop that one. In the meantime, here is Mark Humphries with the headlines.
Ray Martin interviewed former Prime Minister Julia Gillard in the dark last night. The interview was titled The Whole Truth, or at least as much truth you can fit in before the next episode of The Block. Ray was the ideal person to conduct the interview, as he's a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Would you please welcome your host for this evening, Ray Martin.
Ray made it clear from the outset, this interview would be no holds barred.
There are no ground rules, right? Within reason, I can ask you anything.
Absolutely.
And indeed he did.
Do you turn around looking for a butler these days and find there's no one there, there's just him?
Do you turn around looking for a butler? It's questions like that that make him Ray Martin and us just mere mortals. But it wasn't all about butlers, either real or imagined. His first real question about Gillard's new memoir was much more hard-hitting.
Let's go to your book, though, first up. Are you happy with the cover photograph?
Yeah, I'm not sold on posing in front of a white-grey background. What would you do, Ray? Yeah, that's much better. But come on, Ray, give me something meaty.
I guess there are times when every working woman dreams of having a hairdresser as a partner, because Tim could cut your time in August in the morning while you're getting some briefing. He was doing your hair.
Yeah, we'll get to your policy achievements and the significance of being the first female Prime Minister in a moment. But first, how time efficient were your mornings, Jules? Ray eventually moved on from gossip to the complex world of political strategy.
Was there ever a time in the party when the strategist said to you, look, why did you and Tim just marry?
No, Ray, that's a private matter. Who would ask a question like that?
Why didn't you marry? Why haven't you married?
No. But Ray wasn't the only one interested in the less important details of her Prime Ministership. The general public were too.
There were women who worked at the Prime Minister's office with me who took all of the calls, and they would constantly get calls saying, I like the jacket she's got on today, I don't like the jacket she's got on today, what on earth made her wear that necklace, don't tell me she's had her hair cut.
Oh, I know. Don't you hate it when people get hung up on superficial things?
Are you happy with the cover photograph?
The interview also touched on Miss Gillard's iconic misogyny speech, so Ray asked her to define misogyny.
The traditional definition is obviously hatred of women. I guess I've expanded that to conduct that shows a hatred of women enjoying true equal opportunities, trying to confine them to more traditional roles or lesser roles by word or deed.
Yeah, sounds about right. Then for no reason, Ray gave his definition.
But I would have thought until your very powerful speech that misogyny was something more like the Taliban does, where they stop girls from going to school and where they execute women for adultery. That's normally misogyny, something that's real hatred.
Yes, it's not real misogyny unless you murder a woman. Miss Gillard also took the opportunity to give advice to any would-be politicians out there.
If you think you'd like to see yourself in the media, you'd like to be a celebrity, you know, try out for Big Brother. Politics is not for you. Yeah, politics and Big Brother are completely different. In Big Brother, a bunch of people sit around in a house arguing, and the only thing they achieve is enraging the Australian people. In politics, you sit in a chamber. All in all, it was great to see Australia's former most powerful person on television again. Great to have you back, Ray. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Wait, what? Politics and Big Brother are different? You mean I wasn't voting for Prime Minister hot dogs? Yeah, I guess no self-respecting politician would ever appear in the Big Brother house.
I'm the guy with the not bad-looking daughters, isn't that right?
Ugh. Next up tonight, charity. It begins at home, and if you're like me, that's where it ends. But apparently some people give it to other people too, because in Australia there are 600,000 not-for-profit groups in all. Which is great, because coincidentally, there are close to 600,000 children living below the poverty line. And with the charity sector in Australia worth $55 billion, that's nearly $100,000 per kid. Honestly, I don't know why all those Olivers and Annies are always begging for change, or soup, dirty little street rats. But while most charities do good work, there are some bad apples in the bunch.
Some 5,000 of those charities may not be legitimate, in total collecting billions of dollars in tax concessions.
Yep, it's just like Joe Hockey said, the age of entitlement is over. Unless you're a dodgy charity, in which case, woo! But even set up a dodgy charity? And to be clear, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for my friend, Mr. Henderson.
Prior to 2012, you didn't have to do much to prove you were a charity. In the first instance, you had to be registered by the tax office. After that, absolutely nothing at all.
Right, keeping the initial paperwork to a minimum. And he can respect that, because after that he'll be flat out filing tax returns and reporting his expenses to the ATO and all that boring stuff.
Charities didn't have to file tax returns or even stay in contact with the ATO.
That's grand.
Wait, he doesn't even need to stay in contact? You'd think they'd at least send a thank you card at Christmas.
Dear ATO, thanks for the tax break, suckers. We donated a flat screen to ourselves in your name.
So really, the whole charity situation in Australia seems like a real cluster.
Hey there! Yeah, you in the blue pinstripe suit. Love your hair.
Where's that coming from?
I'm down here, bro.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm actually in the middle of something. I'm really busy.
Yeah, no workers. I'll come up.
No, I'm also on the phone and I have a train to catch. And of course, non habla inglés.
I just want 1 second of your time to tell you about an endangered species.
Oh, well, I actually already give to the giant koalas holding buckets fund.
That's really funny. But I want to tell you something else that's really funny. There's a national charity watchdog that was set up to fix all the problems you just mentioned. It's called the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission.
That's not funny.
The Gillard government set it up in 2012 and it registers charities, helps them meet their obligations, investigates complaints and maintains a publicly searchable database of charities. And you know what? A survey found 82% of those in the charity sector think it's important. But hey, don't take my word for it. Take the CEO of World Vision.
The Commission is actually working for us, and it gives the public confidence in the spending of their donations.
Also, did I tell you I love your hair?
Yes, you did, twice. And I have to say I'm sold. It sounds terrific. The organisation and my hair. So, why are you telling me all of this?
Well, the Minister for Social Services, Kevin Andrews, is leading the Abbott government's charge to kill off the ACNC, and there's no guarantee that it'll be replaced.
So why would they cut it?
It's a Gillard government policy that seems to be working well, so it was always on the endangered list. Look, I'll leave you some reading material, and I'll just leave this here too, bro, so you can chuck in a couple of gold Queen Lizzies if you feel like it. Or 10. Hey man, love your shirt! Yeah!
All right, well, thank you. I will definitely read your pamphlet, and of course I will put some money into your charity. Coins. We'll be right back.
Have you ever had a great shirt? How great was your shirt? Did it attract the attention of people on the street who wanted you to give them money? Why didn't you just wear that shit shirt you normally wear? We'd love to hear about it. At The Roast TV or hashtag, hey man, great shirt. Okay, cool, maybe I'll catch you on your way back then.
Right, so they are killing off the ACNC. Isn't there anyone out there willing to, grow a moustache or shave off their moustache to save this organisation? Because according to this pamphlet, it's doing some pretty good work.
The ACNC has already more than 60,000 charities on its register, and last month revoked the charity status of 246 organisations it had not been able to locate.
Yeah, you see? And if you'd like to help locate those missing charities, I have established a foundation. Please, give generously, and don't tell anyone where I am. So this all begs the question, who wants to kill this thing?
Fairfax Media has previously reported that Cardinal George Pell's office had lobbied the coalition to get rid of the Charities Regulator.
Because if there's one thing we know about the Catholic Church, it's that they are perfectly capable of policing themselves. Really, I'm surprised they can find the time to lobby the government with all those legal obligations. But it's not just that rich organisation always apologising for breaking the law who'd like to be above the law. The ACNC has all kinds of opponents.
Dead people account for most of the 2,100 odd charitable trusts or foundations that exist in Australia, which hold total assets of about $3.2 billion.
Wait, what? Zombie philanthropists are rising up to lobby the government against independent financial oversight?
Being dead, these people cannot have any strongly held views on the subject, but the private companies that administer those charitable trusts do have strongly held views on the ACNC.
They love it.
They hate it.
They hate it, because it turns out when a person leaves money in their will for a charity foundation, that money is often administered by corporate trustees, who are entitled to administer the money in perpetuity, with critics saying they charge whatever fees they deem appropriate. So a bunch of corporations have unlimited access to funds that are supposed to be for the less fortunate. Does that really mean we need a charities watchdog?
Yes, it does, Tom. Because according to some obnoxious girl over there who loved my shirt, of the trustee companies in Australia, today they are almost all stock exchange listed, profit-driven financial service companies. I've seen Wolf of Wall Street, Tom. Sure, publicly floated companies start off nice enough, but soon greed takes over. And they'll be spending all that money on throwing dwarves at dartboards.
I don't want to be thrown at a dartboard again.
Then we can't stand by and let this happen, because as the ACNC has shown, apparently, if you're running an organisation and have just got buckets of money lying around, it takes superhuman control to not just try and steal it.
But surely if you had the impetus to set up a charity...
Hey there, buddy. You're looking a little light in the pocket. You know I'm filled with money.
No, Bucket. I'm talking with Tom about why stealing is wrong.
Oh, no one would notice if a little bit of the money was to disappear. And besides, if it wasn't for all your hard work, there wouldn't even be a charity. You deserve it.
But Bucket, we'll get caught. What about the watchdog?
Shh. That dog don't hunt no more, sweetie.
Well, maybe just a little taste.
Why it seems like such a crazy reason to get rid of the watchdog? Then again, we shouldn't be that surprised that the Liberal Party has less than positive feelings towards the idea of donations and transparency.
Another MP sidelined as ICAC claims 10th Liberal scalp.
Of course, that being said, maybe everyone else just could try to, I don't know, keep their f***ing hand out of the bucket.
Good night. Oh, good. Now go buy some dwarves and a dartboard.